Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome back to some more Star Citizen. Now today, I'm taking a look at the Phoenix. Now, in my last video, I looked at the Andromeda, and the reason I've jumped the middle two is because of the Phoenix is going to be a sort of a limited ship as such. So I felt that I should do the video before the sales close on the Constellation series, because when they come back on resale, this is probably going to be, maybe not on sale, harder ship to get. And it's probably going to be, I don't know how rare in game, but we'll have to wait and see. The second thing as well, actually, it's caused, I wouldn't say a rift, but a slight wave inside the community, particularly on the RSI site around the interior, but we'll come to that in a minute. Now, when we actually look at the stats compared to the other ships, or let me just point out as well, in the last video that I made on the Andromeda, I actually said in there that it had some, I think it was 580 cargo units. That was actually an error on the RSI site. They've updated the stats now. With all fairness, I was slightly irritated by that because I nearly purchased a ship off the basis of them stats, and even this one had tier 7 thrusters, which clearly it doesn't. So anyway, what's done is done. It's been rectified now. The Andromeda actually has 1,100 freight units. Now this ship has 540 freight units. Like the, let's say for instance, the Freelancer series, they had a multi-role ship, the first ship. They had an exploration, they had a haulage, and they had a fighter. Now, this runs exactly the same up until the point of the fighter. And I'm going to say, actually, although it's not obviously obvious a fighter, I'm actually think it is the fighter. I know that sounds a bit odd. The actual spec of the ship is what they actually says on there. It says it's a dedicated luxury space craft, and it features a luxury, obviously, interior, including a hidden sensor dampened area for your precious cargo. It also comes with the P-72 fighter, and also comes with the Linux rover as well. Now, both of them are, I'm not saying they're sort of the better ones. Let's say, for instance, we have actually seen a picture of the P-72. It was actually underneath the Constellation in the Constellation video. There is actually a picture on the Tactical Advance forum of that. It looks like a mini Constellation, basically. It's an upgrade from the P-52, apparently. I'm assuming that, putting 1 and 5 together, making 50,000 on the basis that the number's higher than 52. It might not be the case at all. What I would like to see from the P-72 is maybe something that can go a little bit longer range, because the P-52 is a very, very short range ship, really, just for defending the ship. Hopefully the P-72 is going to be sort of a, maybe, let's say, a medium range fighter. So what you might be able to do is use it also to scout ahead when you're actually flying out in space, which would be pretty cool, and report back what you can see in front of him. So that's could be used for that purpose. And let's make the assumption the weapons are probably going to be better as well. The Linux rover, we don't really know much on that as of yet. I haven't seen any pictures neither. Can't really confirm if the Constellation video had the Linux rover or the standard rover. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Now, when we look at the actual stats here, it is difficult to actually, if I went to the website now and I looked at the stats, and I'm looking at this as a luxury spacecraft, it's not very obvious of actually what is actually good about this ship. You know, there is some basic stuff there, but it's only when you start digging deep you start to realise actually, yeah, okay, pretty good ship, I see what you mean. Now, okay, so first of all, out of the 4 constellations, this has the largest power plant of 7. Now, when I read that, first off, I thought, well, clearly it needs a bigger power plant to power the interior. That's what I thought. You know, the TV or the lights. But I'm starting to think maybe I was wrong. We'll get to that in a minute. Pretty much all the Constellations series are the same on the main engines, which is 4 tier 5s, and you've got 8 tier 3 maneuver thrusters. Pretty much they're all the same on all the series as well. The maximum shields, the Andromeda and the Phoenix have tier 6, and actually 3 of them do, and 1 of them is tier 5, which is more the exploration. Then we've got, moving down, we've got the weaponry. Now, this is sort of the key factor here. I've spent a bit of time looking at the stats and, you know, digging into things. Now, okay, so if you compare, the only two you can actually compare here as like weaponry, because the other two don't really have any weaponry, quite on par, is the Andromeda and the Phoenix. Now, looking at the Andromeda on the Class 2s, it's got 4 S4s lasers. Now, one of the things what they've added now a little while ago, it's been a bit of a transition, is you have 4 S4s and then you have a size, okay? Now, the sizes, I think, go up to, I think it's 7. I'm just going to check that. I think I'm pretty certain it's 7. Let's have a quick look. So, it's actually 6 is the top one, I think. I'm pretty certain, yeah, on the classes it is, it's up to 6. Now, between them two weaponry, you've got, the Andromeda's got 4 S4s, in brackets 3, size 3, and the Phoenix has got 4, size 4. What does that actually mean? They're just bigger. Is bigger better? I don't know, guys. Let's not get into this conversation, but you could say that the big ones might have a slower rotation speed, and that would give you a disadvantage. But obviously, they might be more harder hitting. You could say the smaller ones would have a faster rotation speed, giving it the advantage, but wouldn't be so hard hitting. Now, I'm pretty certain, and that's the reason for the bigger power plant, because it's not like the engine size has been increased, and the fact that the laser is going to be NG weapons, possibly. Missile racks, the actual Andromeda comes, it's hard to say, does come off better. It's actually got a few more, it's got an extra few racks, but the reality is, on size, if size once again means anything, the Phoenix has 4 racks of size 2, and the Andromeda has 4 of size 1 and 2 of size 2. So it's almost probably about the same there, really. I mean, although one has more than the other ones, depends what the missiles do, doesn't it, really? It's very difficult to actually compare that sort of thing where you don't know actually what blooming missiles will do. It might turn out that the smaller ones might be better. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Now, moving on to the Class 5. Both the Andromeda and the Phoenix have 2 S4s, 4 times Rhino. The Phoenix has got Needle, both size 4, so both the same there. So far what we've actually worked out here, right, is the Andromeda's got basically an extra rack. The Phoenix has got, obviously, well, it's actually got an extra 2 rack, sorry. The Phoenix has got obviously less too, but bigger missiles, or bigger point, whatever that means. So looking at this so far, okay, so I'm thinking the Phoenix is probably going to be slightly more powerful as ship, and probably what's going to push it over the edge now, really, is when you go into the rest of the stats, and you start looking at things like, what other extra things do you get with it, which you don't get with, obviously, the Andromeda. And the first thing that jumps to my mind, or jumps out, is, so I can't really tell you what it is, but it's listed there, is the point defense battery. Have no idea what it is. Class 9, 9 Capital Plymouth, max size, we don't even know what it is. Robert Space Industries, it's an auto point defense gun, coming soon. So that's what it's got, guys. If anyone knows what it is, let me know in the comments. But look, so far it's got the bigger lasers. We know that. It can keep bigger ones, if bigger's better. It's got the bigger missiles, but less racks, and it's got the battery. So I'm thinking, guys, this is pretty much the fighter. It's the fighter. It's probably more likely going to be the more powerful Constellation out of the 4. Maybe I'm wrong, guys, but look, it's very difficult to say at this point, but that's what I've concluded from what I can actually physically see there. Now, obviously, you do get the better fighter, and you do get the rover as well, but that's probably here and all there when it comes out all in one, Constellation beat Constellation as such. So, that's enough talking. Quite a bit to go through there. Felt like that was a hard comparison, guys, because it's such a fine line there. This is not clear cut, is it? It's not like, yeah, okay, 100%. This is the fighter. I know it says there that it's more of a luxury ship, but if people going to buy a luxury ship that has the same weapons as an Andromeda that can carry more weight, yeah. So on that basis, Is there a reason to buy this? Yeah, I think it's going to be probably more likely the more powerful ship. And the point defense battery system, the further it's got battery, it sounds like it's going to club other constellations to death. I'm not saying that's going to happen by any means, but like I said, look, who knows? Now, anyway, let's start having a look around the ship anyway. Enough of me waffling on. Right, so anyway, look, it's grey of colour. A lot of people said it's white, but I think it's actually grey. More of a grey sort of colour, which I like. One of the sort of disadvantages we got, well, I've mentioned this many times before, is the fact that we don't have PBR in the hangar yet. So it makes it a bit dull because we've got no light, and we've got no character shadows out here as well because we don't have PBR in the hangar, but anyway. So starting from the front, obviously we've got the cockpit at the front with the crew in there. 4 crew, we know that already. It's nice to actually see it in the grey format because you can actually see the blooming ship. You can see here in front of me the first missile rack there, what slides out the side. You can see the second one down the rear there as well. You can actually see loads of little racks and things. You can see 2 there at the rear. Look, short arm, long arm, big long arm there. And one thing I'd never noticed before as well, which is the step ladder. First time I've actually seen that because of the other constellations being so dark. So, yeah, interesting. Then obviously, we've got the cargo hold underneath there. Now, I don't know if the whole cargo, it did actually say in the actual stats there that the Constellation basically will have this, well, I don't know what you want to call it, cargo, I don't want to say undetectable what you got in the cargo, but it's got a special cargo hold. I don't know if that's the full cargo hold yet, or is a little room inside the cargo hold, because we actually can't go in there yet. So we have to wait and see. RSI site badge on there, like that. I mean, you've got to see it this way. It's like a car at the end of the day. If you buy a BMW, Mercedes, whatever you buy, it's got a car badge on it. Same thing with a ship, really. The 480, which was obviously the old weight unit, I'm assuming, which obviously is probably going to need changing. Further on down the line. Rear wing, if you want to call it that. Engines up the top there. Move around the side here. You can see all the little flaps as well underneath the wing there for the landing. Planeside landing. You can actually see the hydraulic rams now as well. They're up the top there for the missile racks that pop out the side. This is the P-52 Merlin. The P-72 is not in game yet, so it's like a temporary placeholder just to sort of show you how it actually fits in. Does look pretty cool. You've got a little tube there where you board that from inside the ship. We'll take a look in a second. Love the animations of this. It looks absolutely fantastic. Look under here. Got some more flaps that come down around this side. So I'll run around this way. Take a bit of a step back, shall we? Have a look. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's nice to actually see it in its full, you know, actually better see the ship. A little observation here, guys, which is quite interesting. If you look at that door up there, you can't actually see the light inside. Is it because it's blacked out glass? I don't know, but that's all pretty key because you don't want to be flying around like a Christmas tree when you're in space. Like not even a disco on board. You've got disco lights flashing out the top of your constellation or something. So we'll have a look inside. I'm not sure if that's tinted glass. We'll have a look. Move around to the front here. We've got more sort of flaps there. Be interested to see where this battery system thing goes. Really interesting. These little hooks here. I'm seeing these things all over. Maybe they can't be thrusters. Can't be, surely. Maybe they are. Could be. Good possibility. Would sort of make sense. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where this battery thing goes. I mean, is the battery system one weapon or is it loads of them all around the ship? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But sounds quite interesting, doesn't it? Looking forward to finding out a bit more in detail what that actually thing does. I've done a few, did a few sort of searches on the forum. Not really much there, really, to be honest with you. Can't actually open the cargo hold here. So, not really much you can do here. We've got the top here. I wonder what that is as well. Saw that there earlier. There's one over this side as well, whatever it is. That's the sort of flap that comes down there. Who knows? Let's get inside. Now, inside. The interior looks really nice. I like it. It's personal preference at the end of the day. A lot of people have been criticising the interior. Not necessarily criticising the interior, because this is the first ship to really question yourself and about what you're actually buying. Because, okay, it does look like this is going to be the more powerful Constellation. The only question in my mind is, what is the battery system? I mean, that's... Okay, it's got the bigger lasers, yeah, fair enough. But I suppose Constellation v Constellation, even though this has got the bigger lasers, doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to win. But if the battery system does batter another Constellation to death, then obviously this would be the better ship. So we need some clarification on that. Makes it very difficult. It's almost like going out and buying a car, seeing the forecourt, and he goes, oh, it's got this supercharged S badge on the back. And he says, well, you know, so what does it do? And he goes, oh, it's to be confirmed. Are you going to go and buy the car? You know, it makes it very difficult. Don't get me wrong, people... Oops, a bit stuck there. People are still going to buy the ship, there's no doubt about it. But at the same time, it would have been probably a wise idea to ship it with the ship, if you know what I mean, if that makes any sense. Because you're selling a limited ship, you know, you want to know what you're getting. Simple as that, really. But looking at the stats, I think even whatever it does, I think it's going to come off better off. It's then going to come down to obviously player skill. I like the clean interior. I don't know if you've noticed when I did my Andromeda video, I looked up over here, just here. And what they did is they sort of reverted back. The Constellation went old. No, it was normal material, and then they splashed like oil, I suppose, all over it to make it look old. I think they had to do that. It's because when they come to building this one, the interior looked nice in the other Constellation. If this didn't look any better, then it was almost like pointless. They've sort of made the other Constellations look older, and then gave this the brand new material, if that makes any sense. It does look absolutely fantastic. I like it. I think it looks very clean, very sort of high tech. You know, you get the impression when you're in here that it's something. It's definitely state-of-the-art technology, even though it gives you that impression anyway. Ooh, I'll get in. Let's have a look. Probably gonna get stuck here, guys. Can I get in that one? Okay. It's going to let me get in. Didn't let me get in last time, but okay. They swivel around, but did try this. I didn't get in, guys, because you're not going to get stuck, and I. Does look pretty cool, must admit. The seat looks good. You can see that it's white box. It's not completed, and controls there look a bit cack. Need some colorization on there and buttons and all that sort of stuff. I know it's not finished. I know that. Of course I do. The HUD display at the front, guys, is blue. The previous on the Andromeda was black. If that makes any difference at all, I don't know. But there is some sort of blue theme going on with these panels in here. Not bad viewing angles here. Pretty good. Do sort of like it. What's that there? That going outside is a bit worrying, isn't it? Maybe that's some internal fan system. Yeah, not bad viewing range. Once again, don't know if I like this. I know that's the front heads-up display. We sort of spoke about this in the last video. The only concern is that going to block your field of view? I don't know. But it looks pretty good. Very nice. Obviously got the gunner's aspect of it here as well. You can see that we got full integration of PBR in here. I just love it. I think it's fantastic. It's working with the character and everything, and the materials, the way the lighting works, and the way that, you know, when I walk past something, the shadows cast and all that sort of thing. And, you know, and it affects the whole ship, you know, when I actually walk into that light. It's just totally fluid. Everything. It's almost like this is what we want in the hangar. I know we're going to get it in a couple of weeks. I'm just looking forward to it. Top Gun. You can sort of see. Not going to try and go up there because I'll probably get stuck. Sort of actually, I don't know what you think, guys. I want the gun. I don't want this here. Oh, look. Okay, I see. Floor opens there. There's like some floor thing there. Look, you can see little hinges there. Look. Okay, I can see that. Sort of like this to tuck away. I'm sure it can. Well, I don't know. If it tucks away, it might pop out the top, mightn't it? Do we really need the seat sitting there? I don't know. Does it really matter? No, but just a thought. A lot of these little panels around the place. Materials look absolutely fantastic. Definitely get the impression that someone who built this ship just discovered chrome textures. It does look absolutely amazing, but it does appear quite often. I do like it. It looks great. I mean, the chrome looks so realistic in here. Fantastic. And plastic pipes there. Probably some coolant pipes. I'm getting this funny little flickering every now and again on some of the metal. Maybe that's just the light reflecting off it. It's a good possibility. Storage compartment there. Funny looking thing here. So that's in all of them. I'm not really sure what that actually does yet. Can't really get on top of the roof, so we can't really tell. Seating area here. This does go down. I did it in the Andromeda, but I tried it a couple of times earlier and I keep going down the blooming hatch, so sort of give up after a while. Definitely still need these buttons where you can actually interact with a button rather than try and aim at an object. But like I said, early stages yet for this ship. This is probably sort of V1 of the Phoenix as such. Moving around. Everyone likes the wall of blue lights. Looks cool. Obviously it looks a bit cack at the moment, but I'm sure once it's implemented it's going to look awesome. Maybe you could run up here and, I don't know, do vitals on the ship and stuff like that. Seeing this sort of panel around on the other ships as well in a smaller format. So this is obviously a temporary placeholder, clearly. What that's going to do in game, who knows. Wooden flooring. Observation with the wooden flooring here, guys. Pretty, the fidelity and detail here. I don't know if you can actually see. If we look at the edge of the light there. It's one thing laying a texture down like wood, metal. But to make it really look realistic, you've got to add some sort of additional texture to it to make it look real. And it's the wear that you can actually see there on the edge of the light, which really, really gives you the impression and really sort of makes it look really realistic. Absolutely fantastic. 10 out of 10. And we have two rooms here. We've got a toilet and we've got a shower room. You can actually get in this one, guys. There's a little trick. Here we go. Okay. Give us a second. It's going to work. Oh, there we go. I'm in. Not obviously supposed to do that, guys, but I did it just to sort of get in. Going to be hard to get out. He's got his leg up or something now. He's put his leg up. Look, when I went round, you see that? I'll do that again. Maybe he went a bit wrong. Oh no, he did, look. He's just resting his leg. Plug hole there, makes sense. Nice, still haven't... The mirror effects is a bit wobbly. It's like one of them cheap plastic mirrors you get, you know what I mean? Like for a couple of cheap things that go wobbly and you can't actually see yourself in it. So, pretty pointless. Nice chrome handles there. Shower head. Is there a shower head? There's no shower head. Unless that's it there. Surely that's a distractor. Maybe the head's missing. Not sure. What's that? Light switch? Some sort of basin thing. Looks like a urinal, doesn't it? Right, anyway. Let's try and get out now. Probably a bad idea. Oh, there we go. Wow, did it quite easily. Can do the same thing with this one, guys, but I've got stuck in that one a couple of times, so let's give that a miss. Obviously, as you can see, there's a toilet in there. You've got a little basin thing there. Mirror up the top there. Same sort of scenario. They obviously don't want us to go. And buttons don't work, no. Beds. Assuming the beds escape... double up as escape pods. You can see there's some sort of gap there. Look very nice. You can see there's some sort of heads-up display there. Pretty cool. A lot of pictures around the place. The fidelity and detail on these guys just crazy. I mean, you look at the... Sorry, I'm moving about here. I'll try and stand still a bit. Look. It would almost be hard to tell. I mean, it looks so real. I mean, I don't know. What's the next step to make that look even realer? I don't know. Really don't know. It looks absolutely amazing. The materials here, you really get a good sense that they look fantastic. Really, really good. I don't know if they're actually going to implement, because in the last 10 from the chairman, Chris Roberts said that they've actually got in game the materials aging actually working. So i.e. like they could set wood to wear over a period of time, or maybe by someone walking over it. And that material will wear, and that's already in the game. Are they actually going to implement that, around here or inside the ship? I don't know. Are they going to do it outside the ship? More than likely. Sort of hope they don't do it in the interior, but I have to wait and see. If they do, you sort of want a way to, revert it back, if that makes sense. Because you don't want to, 4 months down the line, you don't want to walk around the ship and it looks all dirty and minging, and you can't get it back to where it was. That'd be a bit annoying. But I can see why you might do it on the outside. If a Constellation flies towards you and it looks a bit tatty and a bit old, he's more than likely going to have engine depreciation and all that sort of stuff, which is going to be in the game and all that stuff. But anyway, now the beds, we can see the panels at the top. We can't actually get in here. We're going to have a little bit of a look. You can see I actually prefer this material much better than the Andromeda. The Andromeda material looked like I said in the video, looked like one of them sort of baby wet your bed sort of sheets. This looks a bit more realistic. The pillow, leather pillow. Can you imagine that, guys? Lying on the leather pillow with an ear on it. Your ear's going to stick to the pillow. You're going to wake up with a pillow stuck on the side of your head. Anyway, who's going to... Maybe I'm going a bit too far. Just thinking about the realistic aspect of it. Yeah, looks cool in there, guys. So, like that. So this is actually a self-contained sort of, it's fair to say, quarters, really, for the crew. So you could, let's say, the idea, I know you're going to think this. So you've got 4 people, yeah? You've got gunners, everyone else. They sleep here. This is where they live, yeah? The captain of the ship, or your VIP, is now in here. Because obviously they've got their own beds, they've got their own toilet, and they don't need to come down here, so you can lock the door. No, I'm joking, you can't. But you get the idea. Well, you could have a party down here. Now, actually, before we're here, let's go and have a look at this. So it's this glass. It is blacked out. Look, it is slightly darked out. No, it is. Which makes sense. Because we looked at that when we were outside a second ago. Right. Let's have a conversation about this interior, because this is what's caused the sort of the waves in the community, but everyone's sort of saying, what's the point? What's the point of having this ship? You know, not necessarily what's the point of having the ship, but what's the point of the interior? And I sort of get that. But when we had when the Constellation came out, the original one, we had the toilet, right, and the beds. That was acceptable. Everyone was like, yeah, okay, we want the beds, you know, we don't mind having the toilet. Anyone that said they didn't like the toilet, someone else would say, hey, well, you know, what's wrong with having a toilet? And that next step is saying, okay, now you've got a toilet, let's give you a table, a jacuzzi, a bed, a bar, fridge, freezer, shower, you know, the whole sleeping quarters aspect of it. But for some people in the community, I can see how that maybe is going too far, because what they're saying is, look, if I buy this ship now, let's just say $50 of the money for the ship is probably to pay for this. Something that maybe you're never ever going to use, and the only thing you're ever going to do is run past it. But at the end of the day, you're going to look what you're buying into. You're buying into Star Citizen. Star Citizen here to create a flight sim with first-person aspect of it, with exploration and all the other dynamics of how flying through space would be. Now, in some ways, I think you've got to have this mechanic in the game. You've got to give quarters and all these sort of aspects in the game. And the reason is because if you don't, then all we're going to do is exist as a player with a ship. If you take away the sleeping quarters and all this sort of aspect of the game, I think you lose a part of actually what the game's about. So as much as I see what the community's saying about the interior aspect of it, I get it. But at the same time, I sort of like it. So let me take you through it. Well, I've clocked what you get in here anyway, guys. You've got actually, I think there was about 4,000 of these ships left. There's not many. I mean, on the basis that there's 750,000 people, that accounts for not even 1%. When the game goes live, if they sell 2 million copies in the first week, that then puts it down to something like 0.4 or something crazy. So there's not going to be many of these unless it comes back on sale again. Even if it does, there's still not going to be many, guys. So each their own. So what do we got? We got some cover. We got some storage space up the top there for your sort of, your general sort of food and stuff like that. We've got a really nice fridge, freezer. Freezer at the bottom, fridge at the top. On the side one there, we can't open the door. You've got a drinks area to put your drinks in. We've got a stainless steel sink here, which is very nice. We've got a 6-ringed hob there with this little side table. So very nice. Nice and clean. Easy to clean and maintain, guys. So very easy. And also, we don't want to have gas, do you? You've got a little serving area here as well. A couple of seats. Going crazy with the chrome. Sort of like the chrome. Looks very good. Move around this side. Obviously, we've got airlock door. Now, you've got because the ship's actually split up into a self-contained area. What I mean is, look, here you can sleep, drink, do what you want. And you'd never need to go through that door, right? And on this side, don't forget, you've got... Have I gone past it? Or have I gone past it? There it is. You've got a hatch there as well. So even if the airlock goes down here, you're in a totally self-contained area. And that was one of the issues with, obviously, the previous Constellation. Oh, pressed it twice there. Doors. Need buttons. Maybe that's going to be the button, but I just need buttons, man. Why? I don't like this aiming thing when it's really irritating. But anyway, so we've checked out this side. Let's go and have a look. We've got really, really beautiful tables and chairs here. The glass could be a little bit more tinted. It's a bit difficult to see the glass sometimes. It looks like it just doesn't have a glass top. Looks fantastic in the chrome, very bling. Around this side we've got sort of another little sort of seating bar area, you could call it. With this, I actually thought this was a reflection first of all. You can see these bottles here, and I'm sort of looking behind me thinking, well, where are they? Well, couldn't see them. It's just actually just painted on the wall. Maybe that's just to distinguish what this area actually is. So maybe a little bar area. Moving down here, we have a seating area. You can imagine how this is going to be. You're probably going to be sitting in the seat with your feet up there, probably. We have a TV here. You can't actually stand back so you can see it. Yeah, there's sort of grey glass thing. That's why it's facing that way. Now, throughout this ship, what you do have as well, you have this sort of glass roof going across the whole section. So you're going to get a good view of space while you're flying around. It's going to look pretty cool. Another door on the other side, obviously. Moving down this side. Hot tub. Yep, I know you're going to go, what the hell? But look, at the end of the day, at least you're going to be cleaning this ship anyway. Or, or do we actually, are we seeing this? Do you know what this might be? As much as we criticise this might be, I could see actually from a, let's say a roleplay point of view, how this might be pretty cool. If you've got to move someone very important to location A to location B, they might say, look, you know, if you haven't got a good quarters, then I'm not coming. You know, I'm going to chill out in here, and then you can escort me to the other location. I see what you're getting at. Don't think we actually get in there and fill it up, but not really sure. Not sure if we're ever going to be able to. We have to wait and see, won't we? Obviously the bed. Once again, not really keen on sleeping on leather and living pillars, but hopefully there's a little compartment somewhere where you can get normal cushion, you know, normal duvet out and stuff. Nice paintings on the wall. Same painting, different frame, but the frames look absolutely fantastic. I can't get any closer, but you can see the detail of the frames. See even some little dents on there as well. Gone really out on the detail. Look absolutely fantastic. You know, in fact, for lighting and material, I don't think you can get much closer to that. I.e., you know, you're there with it there. You know, they've hit the nail on the head. Looks amazing. PBR for you. So, moving on, we've got the shower. Now, the first time I saw this, my first question was, we've got the cargo bay below us, right? So the first thing I thought, maybe this bit here is the lift. Right? I know it must be a bit odd, because I was thinking, look, how do you get into the cargo bay? You might say that actually, why is the hell is the person inside this, you know, compartment want to get in the cargo bay? I don't know. But how do you get into the cargo bay? Does that mean you only can get to it from the outside? Maybe that's the case. So when I you know, ignorance, when I first came down here, I looked at this. I went, oh, it's a lift. It's not. It's a shower. But I don't know. I would have rather it had been a lift, because I'm looking at it thinking, shower? Really? You turn the shower on there? Imagine it. It's all going to get wet round here. If you've ever walked on wooden floor when it's wet, your VIP, your time you get somewhere, he's going to blooming kill himself on this bloody floor. It's going to be so slippy. There's going to be water everywhere. So, I wish it was a lift, but anyway, it's obviously not. Nice bed. We've got another toilet here as well. So once again, it's almost like a self-contained flat for the VIP, you could call it that. We can't get in here yet. I could probably try and bug through there, but could be dangerous. Moving down here, we've got some shelving unit here. Some really nice sort of bed poles there. Did actually look at this a few times to think that actually I wonder if that bed folds up. It did look like something might happen there. Don't think this area is finished. It looks a bit dark. So what I noticed here, if you look at them cups there, right, and then there's some lights, right? But look, can't see the light there very well. It's almost like this might be a slight lighting issue here. Not quite sure. Moving around the back anyway. Pretty much covered off everything. I think let's have a quick look. It does look actually fantastic when you look down. Oh, look over the top there. Looks fantastic. See that there, the glass when it distorts, look, when I move my head as well. Pretty cool. And that actually, that's distorting. If you look at the top of the glass, is the top? Yeah, it's the top of the glass is slightly, oh, I'm not quite sure. It's a bit funny actually. Doesn't look too good close up, but it does distort slightly. Does look a bit zigzaggy. Going into the back compartment. Same as usual, guys. We saw the same thing on the previous Constellation. The only difference here, which I noticed, which is these panels, they're not actually there in the Andromeda, but they're here in this ship. Same thing as last time. I love this room. The way you could see this is, if you're moving oh, the door's closed. If you're moving a VIP, let's say for instance you've got a VIP on board, and the ship comes under attack, he could run down the back here. You know where this is going, didn't you? You could open the doors. See you later, guys. Get down the hatch and zoom off in the ship. Suppose that's the thinking. It's only one seat, and there's 4 people flying the ship, so see you later, guys. That's probably going to be the reality. So, what do I think? I like it. I like it. I mean, I think because this is the first ship that we've seen with a sort of a more focus on interior that doesn't necessarily serve a purpose. Once we get the Idris and the other ships as well, because they are going to have other rooms, and then rooms won't necessarily have a real functionality. Now, will this be modular? Will we be able to change things out further on down the line? What can we actually do? Who knows? But the reality is even for what it is now as a ship, statistically, it's looking good. And the other side, you've got to look at it. Even for me, why it becomes appealing is because I love the Constellation anyway. The reality was, when I was in the Constellation, right, the room from the crew department to the rear, where the beds were, I was always going to run down there anyway to get to the beds or get to the Snugfighter. So do I really care what's between it? Not necessarily. So I don't think you could use the interior for a reason not to buy it, if that makes any sense. So I'm looking at this and saying, I actually quite like it. And for someone who wants to support Star Citizen on a different level, you know what I mean? Obviously financially it's a lot more money. But what you're getting here, something is quite exquisite. Something very unique. And hopefully it's going to be a special item in the game. Which they're saying is. They're saying there's 4,000 on sale, which is, like I said, not a lot at all. And when it goes into game, if you really, really like the game, then you're going to have something special. The other way you could look at it, you could buy one of the other ships, one of the basic Constellation, and then, the Andromeda. You could fly that around, in 6 months' time, 7 months' time. People that join the game in a year, 2 years down the line, probably have the same ship as you. The possibility of them getting this ship is probably going to be a lot less, because obviously it's significant more. Either they're going to have to, play the game for a year, maybe, or it might be unattainable, or it might only come on a special occasions. So I'm still thinking about it. I'm thinking, buy it, upgrade to it, because for me, I'm thinking, look, whether this has got a nice interior. Majority of the time, I'm probably going to be sitting in this front seat. So do I really necessarily care what's behind me? Not majorly, but it's nice to have something special in the game. And secondly, the weapons are pretty good. Bigger lasers, what does that mean? Who knows? Bigger missile racks, but less of them. And it's got the defense system. So, yeah, you could negotiate. You could put a negative on that and say, yeah, the cargo hold is half the size as the Andromeda. Of course it is. And you can compare it to the other ones, which you could say they're 3 times the size. Of course you can. Depends what you want to do in the game. And it's all down to personal preference. And there's going to be, some people are going to like one ship and say, hey, that ship's fantastic, I love it. And some guy's going to go, look, that's absolutely useless, don't like that ship at all. And, if you're watching the video, you've got to keep an open mind. This may not be for you, but it could be for someone else. Out of the 2 videos that I've done, through the Andromeda and the Phoenix, so far, without looking at the other 2, my money will be on the Phoenix, and it so far it will be. I will buy the Phoenix unless one of the other 2 show me something that makes me realise actually that's what I want as an individual, not necessarily as a statistical reason. So 2 more videos to go, guys, and then it sort of be pretty much conclusive for me. And I'll let you know the outcome. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.